headlines of VTV News. Vietnamese state president meets with Cambodian National Assembly president. Digital transformation promoted at localities derived of power and phone signal. And later on in our world news, U.S.-Russian defense chiefs discuss lowering escalation over phone call.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to this edition of VTV News brought to you live from Hanoi. You're with me, Lina Fatman. Here's the top news of the hour. During his official state visit to Cambodia, President Tô Lâm met with the President of the Cambodian National Assembly, Hun Sudari. The two sides agreed to continue promoting the role of the two countries' national assemblies in fostering bilateral relations, especially in building institutions and perfecting the legal system to enhance connectivity between the two economies. They also discussed expanding cooperation in education and training, facilitating the enhancement and improvement of cooperation in various fields, and continuing to strengthen relations between the three countries of Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. Additionally, they emphasized the importance of closely coordinating and supporting each other at parliamentary and international forums, such as the Inter-Parliamentary Assembly of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or IPA, the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU, and the Asia-Pacific Parliamentary Forum, APPF. On this occasion, President Tô Lâm thanked the Cambodian side and requested their continued support for people of Vietnamese origin to stabilize their lives. This will create favorable conditions for Vietnamese enterprises investing in and doing business in Cambodia. For many years, Vietnamese enterprises have been deeply involved in the field of telecommunications infrastructure development and digital transformation in Cambodia. Medphone, a brand jointly established by the military industry telecommunications group Viettel in Cambodia, currently accounts for more than 43% of the mobile subscriber market share and is the network operator with the largest number of mobile subscribers in Cambodia. Medphone currently has 5,200 broadcasting locations and 32,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable, bringing the internet to all provinces and cities, helping Cambodia have good 4G coverage in the region. Medphone is one of the enterprises that contributes the largest budget to the royal government of Cambodia, while also supporting Cambodian people in essential services such as healthcare, education, and sports, among others. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on Saturday morning continued to inspect the progress of the Châu Đốc-Cần Thơ-Sóc Trăng Expressway. The project is nearly 190 kilometers long with a total investment of nearly $1.7 billion and is one of 6 important expressways in the Mekong Delta. At the meeting, the Prime Minister requested the completion of 600 kilometers of highways in this term and another 600 kilometers in the following term. This effort, along with the development of seaports and inland waterways, aims to create a complete transportation system for the region. While commending localities and units for their efforts, the Prime Minister requested that provinces with raw material mines continue to expand mining activities and support provinces without mines. In addition, local agencies and functional units must handle technical infrastructure work, while contractors must speed up progress and support local businesses. In the past, Hanoi decentralized over 600 administrative procedures, roughly one-third of the city's total. Moving forward, Hanoi plans to further decentralize and authorize over 500 additional administrative procedures at the district level. Nearly 2 years into the city's decentralization project, people, businesses, and local authorities have observed the practical benefits it has brought.
Administrative procedures related to the labor sector are among the newest tasks authorized to Zalam district by the city. For the first time, Gung can complete procedures to declare inspection subjects with strict labor safety requirements at the district's one-stop department.
Completing procedures at the District People's Committee has helped our business save time and reduce costs of travel and paperwork.
Zalam district is currently authorized to handle over 140 administrative procedures. The district has implemented a model where 28 administrative procedures under the new initiative are processed every Tuesday, with results available within 2 working hours.
After nearly 2 years of implementing administrative procedures authorized by the city, citizens, organizations, and some businesses have noticed the practical benefit. Moreover, the specialized department is also more proactive in handling these administrative procedures.
Long Bien is one of the 9 districts of the city authorized to issue and renew driver's licenses. In the past 3 months, more than 1,000 records have been handled at the district's one-stop office.
I'm glad to see that the digitalized public services of government and Hanoi have served the needs of people like us.
The Hanoi People's Committee is decentralizing the authorization to districts to handle administrative procedures for the city's departments and branches. I believe this policy brings significant advantages to both people and businesses.
Decentralization brings practical benefits to people and businesses, reducing the pressure on the city's departments. More importantly, it narrows the gap between the people and the authorities.
Artificial intelligence will help Vietnam's digital economy grow 11 times by 2030, reaching $220 billion, equivalent to nearly half of Vietnam's current GDP. This is according to Google's forecast. Also, thanks to AI, the current digital economy of Southeast Asia has grown remarkably, reaching an economic value of $100 billion, an increase of 8 times in just 8 years, and is forecast to reach $835 billion by 2030. Although the forecast is quite optimistic, Google's representative also emphasized that Vietnam is facing many challenges, such as a shortage of human resources and experts in the field of AI. AI startups in Vietnam also lack the opportunity to access experts to evaluate and appraise AI products to suit market needs. Digital transformation is being implemented in public administrative procedures across the country. However, this remains a big challenge for areas where digital infrastructure has yet to develop. The remote villages in Trường Sơn Commune, Quảng Ninh District of Quảng Bình Province are a prime example. Due to the complex mountainous terrain, they haven't even had access to the national power grid or mobile network.
When I have to make an urgent phone call, I have to go to the top of the hill, otherwise there's no signal here.
This is common in Sat village. Meanwhile, in Ploang village, the villagers were supported with a solar energy system in 2018, but the joy was short-lived. After 2 years, the equipment was completely damaged. The batteries were worn out, wires were broken.
The provincial front gave the village head a TV, but for the past 3 years, it hasn't been used. Since the solar power stopped working, the TV has been abandoned.
No electricity and no signal have been the common situation in the 6 villages of the Trường Sơn commune, Quảng Ninh district for many years. This is the 7th time Nyat has come to the Communal People's Committee office, where there's electricity and a strong signal, to complete paperwork and electronic identification. Each time he brings along his neighbor to finish their documents.
Due to the lack of signal, people haven't used phones for a long time. Therefore, SIM cards are locked.
She has registered the SIM card under her name, but hasn't activated the ID code. So first, she needs a smartphone.
This low-tech phone can't be connected to the internet.
We have made many proposals to bring the power grid to remote villages. Providing electricity and network systems both meet the needs of the people and support digital transformation. But the locality is still waiting for investment from higher authorities.
The communal police diligently go to each village, guiding people with the necessary paperwork and setting up appointments at places with signal and electricity. All that would be done on the locals' phones.
Coming up next, Hà Giang landslide claims several lives. And Hanoi ready for first Lotus Festival. Welcome back to VTV News. At around 4 a.m. on July the 12th, a 16-seat car traveling from Hà Giang City to Bắc Mê District encountered a sudden landslide, burying the vehicle. Many people were killed or injured and are currently being treated at the Provincial General Hospital. So far, 8 people have died, 1 person is missing, and 4 people are injured. Immediately after receiving information about the incident, the leaders of Hà Giang province went to the scene to direct hundreds of officers and soldiers from the military command, the provincial police, and the local 4 on-site force to focus on searching for the missing people. However, it is still raining, and there are many cracks in the area that could cause further landslides. As such, local search forces must temporarily pause efforts to ensure safety. To prevent and combat illegal, unreported and unregulated or IUU fishing, Bình Định province is completing procedures to temporarily revoke the licenses of 190 squid fishing vessels in the province. This is a group of fishing vessels not subject to the regulations on installing voyage monitoring devices or VMS and at very high risk of illegally fishing in foreign waters. The Bình Định fisheries sector will issue a notice to the southern provinces requesting coordination and supervision to prevent these fishing vessels from going to sea. Recently, 8 fishing vessels illegally fishing in foreign waters were seized by foreign authorities. Currently, 5 out of 8 fishing vessels have been fined 4.5 billion Vietnamese dongs by the People's Committee of Bình Định province. Prolonged tensions in the Red Sea have driven up shipping rates, affecting Vietnam's exports. Drewry reports that container freight rates from Asia to Europe and the U.S. are now at 45% of their peak pandemic levels in September 2021. In contrast, intra-Asian rates have remained stable, allowing Vietnamese businesses to expand into neighboring markets and lower transportation risks and costs.
Higher freight rates caused a 40% revenue drop for this cashew nut producer and exporter. The company has sought new partnerships in neighboring countries like China, South Korea, and Japan. It's decided to invest $6.5 million in a new factory tailored for these markets.
Due to their proximity, turnover in these markets is swift, typically occurring within 1 to 10 days. This optimizes operational and production costs, ensuring consistent profitability.
Recognizing the significant potential of Asian markets, this enterprise has entered China and India. Profits from the market's orders help mitigate shared shipping costs incurred when exporting to Europe and the US.
We are still targeting markets with large and young populations, such as China and India. We prioritize the FOB method so that customers can flexibly find transportation partners offering competitive prices.
Asian markets, particularly Northeast Asia, are vital trading partners for Vietnam. However, achieving a lasting foothold in these markets requires a systematic investment strategy and a thorough understanding of consumer preferences.
Enterprises must pay attention to consumer tastes, diversify product designs, improve quality, and stabilize export prices. They should also leverage FTAs to select optimal export products.
Container freight rates are expected to rise through the year-end. Congestion may occur on intra-Asia routes as shipping lines prioritize more profitable journeys. Businesses should seek new export markets and negotiate favorable delivery terms to minimize risks.
In the South Central region, where about 40% of the labor force earns their living from the sea, fishing communities and cooperatives have voluntarily participated in maintaining marine protected areas. Previously, in Nhân Hải Commune in Quy Nhơn, Bình Định, up to 80% of households made a living from coastal fishing. Now, the majority have changed jobs. Marine conservation not only brings economic benefits to local fishermen, but also contributes to protecting aquatic resources and the marine environment.
Checking the protected area markers for the marine reserve, reminding tourists and fishermen to protect the marine environment, and even preventing violations in the protected area. This is the kind of work the community group has been doing for the past 6 years to protect aquatic resources in Nhân Hải Commune. Through this activity, the coral reef ecosystem, sea turtles, and coastal aquatic resources here have developed richly and diversely.
The coral ecosystem is gradually recovering, as are the seaweed and fish. The number of baby fish is at their peak this year.
Thanks to strict protection, the density of coral has increased by an average of 15% per year, creating shelter and breeding grounds for aquatic species and contributing to increasing value of the marine ecosystem.
Thanks to tourism, the locality has developed greatly and people's lives are more stable. Seafood can also be sold at a higher price.
Locals are aware of the importance of protecting coral reefs and coastal areas. In this area, coral reefs are both a place to welcome tourists and a place to support people's livelihoods.
To ensure harmony between marine economic activities, Nhân Hải Island Commune has repaired about 10 hectares for aquaculture. Households have committed to farming and fishing safely and sustainably.
Hanoi is ready for its first Lotus Festival, which will take place from July the 12th to the 16th at the Cultural and Creative Space in Theo District. The festival will include many activities to promote Lotus products, and one commune, one product of OCOP from the city and northern mountainous provinces. Within the framework of the festival, a workshop will take place on the conservation and development of Vietnamese lotus. There will be a lotus installation art space, an exhibition of lotus photos in Vietnamese life, a promotion program for Theo District's tourism, a music night feature works by Vietnamese popular composer Trịnh Công Sơn, and a cycling event in which 7,000 people are expected to pedal around Westlake. Broadway musicals are famous worldwide for their excellence in acting, singing, and dancing. On July the 13th and 14th, audiences in Ho Chi Minh City have the chance to enjoy a Broadway musical called Shrek on national tour. This show features meticulous investment in stage background, scenery, and costumes to offer theater goers an unforgettable experience.
On stage, the Green Ogre, Shrek, and Princess Fiona have a lively and intriguing presence. The odd, rough, yet kind-hearted green guy is paired with the beautiful, initially arrogant Princess Fiona. After enduring challenges, they end up living happily ever after. What sets this Vietnamese rendition apart is its unique fusion of Eastern and Western styles.
Those familiar with musicals will recognize that our acting, singing skills, and stage presence truly shine in the limelight.
We want to convey the cultural interchange between Broadway and Vietnamese theater, which means we do everything to very high standards, international standards, but with Vietnamese style and made by Vietnamese people.
To achieve Broadway standards, Vietnamese actors have practiced their dance, singing, and acting skills closely for 3 years with a creative team and international musical experts. Furthermore, Broadway musicals require perfection, high professionalism, and harmony in all elements, from lighting and sound to acting.
They are absolutely wonderful, and the best thing is they are so dedicated and disciplined and hard-working. Take away from Shrek is the power to just embrace individuality and their diversity, celebrate who they are, and enjoy musicals.
The seamless blend of excellent acting, well-executed choreography, and captivating vocals took the audience on an emotional journey, allowing them to fully enjoy the play.
Coming up next in our world news, U.S.-Russian defense chiefs discuss lowering escalation over phone call. And school collapses in Nigeria. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin and Russian Defense Minister Andrei Belosov had a phone call on Friday regarding the conflict in Ukraine. This was the second phone call between U.S. and Russian defense chiefs in more than 2 weeks. The Pentagon stressed the importance of maintaining open lines of communication during the conflict in Ukraine. The Russian Defense Ministry confirmed that the two countries' defense chiefs discussed the issue of preventing security threats and reducing the risk of possible escalation. Both sides agreed to continue holding occasional phone calls despite heightened tensions over the conflict in Ukraine. The call came as part of the U.S. recent announcement to deploy long-range weapons in Germany, which has been strongly criticized by Russia. Russia's gross domestic product, or GDP, in the first 5 months of 2024 increased by 5% compared to the same period in 2023. This figure is significantly higher than forecast despite external obstacles and blockades against the Russian economy. This information was given by Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin at a meeting on economic issues on Friday. From January to May, the manufacturing sector increased by nearly 9%. Among these, machine building is one of the key drivers in this sector with a double-digit growth rate. In addition, consumer activity is at a very high level, mainly due to the increase in people's income. However, this also led to rising inflation. From the beginning of the year to July the 1st, inflation in Russia increased to 4.5%. The death toll from a school collapse in Plateau State, Nigeria continues to rise. At least 22 people have died, 132 have been injured, and more than 20 are still trapped in the rubble. Saint Academy School in the city of Jos collapsed on Friday morning, local time, shortly after many students under the age of 15 arrived for class. A total of 154 students were trapped. Rescue and medical workers, as well as security forces, were deployed to the scene immediately after the collapse. Authorities are investigating the cause of the collapse. The incident occurred after 3 days of heavy rain in Plateau. In Japan, soil formed from volcanic ash plays an important role in agriculture. Additionally, soil and rocks from volcanoes are used in daily life. We'll learn more about this in the following story.
As the owner of an agricultural farm in Ibaraki Prefecture, a locality famous for its developed agriculture, Amaike Yasuo has long used volcanic clay to make the agricultural land fertile. According to Yasuo, there are many ways to use it in cultivation. Farmers here can use and mix these soils for the highest efficiency.
I use these soils as a base layer in my fields. It becomes flexible, retains water when there's rain, and hardens when it dries. Moreover, it has a pH of 6.5 to 7, which is favorable for growing vegetables.
Soil and rock from volcanic lava are also commonly used in fish tank water filtration thanks to their ability to decompose, absorb phosphorus and nitrogen, and inhibit harmful bacteria.
We also use baked volcanic clay for terrestrial agriculture, typically shrimp farming. This type of soil can absorb ammonia, increase beneficial bacteria, and provide clean water.
Soils formed from volcanic ash and weathered for thousands of years in Japan are called kuroboku soil. It accounts for about 16% of Japan's land area, but agriculture uses up to 64% of this type of soil. Its main characteristic is air-filled pores, which make the land rich and fertile.
Now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4go. Goodbye for now.